Hey, how's it going everyone? Michael back with another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to pass a collection from PowerApps into a Power Automate flow. If you enjoy PowerApps, Power Automate, SharePoint, and Teams videos, feel free to subscribe because I'll be putting out more content and tutorials in the future. So let's get into it. I'm going to start from scratch in the Power App just so I can show you guys like some troubleshooting and everything I go through. So I have a blank Power App here. Disregard this screen. It doesn't really mean nothing. All right, so I need to make a collection with some data. And for my collection, I'm going to select some data from a SharePoint list that I have. You can make your own collection if you want to, but I'm just going to import data from this SharePoint list to use. So let's create a button because I will do that on to create the collection. On select, it's currently false, so it's not going to do anything when pressed. And to select the on select, you would click on here, then scroll down to on select. All right, so let's write a formula. So to create a collection, we're going to use, let me zoom in a little bit. We're going to use the clear collect statement or function. And now it's asking for a collection. So that's going to be your collection name. I like to do it. I like to name my collections with COL at the start. And then whatever I want to name the collection. So in my case, it's a grocery list. I'll just do collection grocery list. And now it's asking for an item. So if I want everything from this list, I can actually do first since I'm doing it from a SharePoint list, I would have to add the data from a data source. So if this wasn't connected, I would click on SharePoint, click on marketing, then click on the list I'm actually working with. But since grocery list is already imported into this Power App, I don't need to do this. But if you do, you click on connect down here with the SharePoint list. So since this is already connected, I can type in grocery list. As you can see, after I close the parenthesis, it is now a collection and it's not giving me any errors. So if we click on this button, and then if you double click on the collection in the function bar, you can actually double click, and then on this drop down, you can actually see what's in the collection. It's an easy little shortcut for y'all. And then it's everything from that SharePoint list. So I actually don't want all this data. I just want like a few columns. Let's say I just want food, date purchased, and let's do let's just do these four actually. So I can see what these are called. So obviously this is the title field. It says food here, but this is actually the title field. Title field, date purchase, price of item, quantity of items. In my collection, it looks like I removed the spaces in between these. All right, so let me remove SharePoint list I'm looking at, and we will do show columns from grocery list. It's asking for the source, and now it's looking for column names, and the syntax for this is double quotes, and then column names you're looking for. So let me close that. Okay, title works. And then I want price of item. Let me just check. I'm closing it just to make sure it works. If that column wasn't in that list, it would give me an error saying incorrect syntax or something of that nature. So we got food, date purchase. Actually, let me do date purchase first. Just so it matches everything. So then we have price of item. And then we also have quantity of item. All right, let's close that. It's giving me an error. So it looks like something is incorrect right here. Quantity of item does not exist. Column with a similar name, quantity of items. I actually forgot the S on it. And it looks like I forgot something else in here. I actually spelled quantity wrong. Sorry, my spelling is off today. All right, there we go. It's all fixed. So let me click on the button now. Double click on my collection, and as you can see, it's giving me the fields that I want to pass from PowerApps into the Power Automate. All right, so since that is working correctly, I'll just show that for a second so you guys can pause if you want to look at the syntax. Let's head over to Power Automate right now, and let me create an instant cloud flow. Instant cloud flows are needed to get the Power Apps trigger. And I want to just name it Power Apps Collection Power Automate. And Power Apps is going to be my trigger. And for this use case, I'm just going to take the collection and I will probably put it in an HTML table and then send that in an email. There's many cases you can do. You can put it into like a SharePoint list, you can update values and stuff like that, but there's probably better ways of doing that. But for this case, I'm going to take the collection and send it in an email. All right, we got the collection here. Let's go and create the flow. I'll need two things from my PowerApps, which is the user's email that's currently logged in and the collection. So let's go ahead and add a compose statement or action operation, whatever you want to call it. I'll rename it so it looks nice in PowerApps. So this will be the collection. And for the input, ask in PowerApps. So as you can see, it changed from two collection inputs. If I didn't change that, it would say compose inputs, and it can get confusing within the Power App. And next, I will need the email. So compose. And I just want to grab the user's email, and I will show you how to do that in the application. So inputs, ask in PowerApps. So let me just save this right now, and should be good. I just want to pass in the parameters so I know it works. So we will need to import this flow right now. So on the left-hand side, you got the Power Automate button, add flow. And it'll list another one, but I want to just refresh this. And as you can see, my new flow populated. The Power Apps collection to Power Automate, that's the one I want to use. All right, it is now in here. So we have a button here. This will be create collection. Just add some labels to them. We get the create collection button, and then we'll just copy and we'll paste this underneath it. And this will be send an email. All right. So for the on select, we don't want to create the collection again. We will do that in that step. We want to actually use the flow that we created. So to do that, we want to make sure the flow is imported. It is. Now you just want to start typing in your flow's name. It's going to remove the spaces for you. So PowerApps collection to PowerAutomate.run. That's the one you want to select. And to pass the collection, you're going to have to use a JSON function. That is going to look like JSON parentheses, then your data source. For my data source, it's going to be that collection. So COL grocery list. And I actually want to pass two parameters after. It's going to be ignore binary data. So it's not going to let me do images, videos, audio columns. I don't want these. I just want text columns. And I'm going to pass ignore unsupported types because sometimes you get errors. So let's just say I just have JSON COL grocery list and I closed it. First of all, it's not going to work because I need two parameters, the email as well. So let me add the email. So to add one, it's going to be comma, and then to add the current user's email, it's going to be user.email, and that's the syntax. So it seems like it's working right now, but sometimes it's not going to, it'll throw an error if you have binary data or unsupported types. So to add those in your JSON function, I'm going to have a comma, and then you can see it brings up going to bring up some options down here. So ignore binary data, and then to add a second one, it's going to be the and sign. Then it's going to be ignore unsupported types. So that's the format you want to run to send your collection to Power Automate. So it's not giving me any errors. So we'll go ahead and click on this. As you can see, you got like a little bar up here that, showed that it worked, but I actually want to have like a notification for my user. So I'm going to toss a notify statement on that and just say flow has ran, just so the user knows that flow actually ran when you press the button. And so it's just what you want to say in double quotes. And then I always usually just do the notification type as success. So if we click on this again, it is actually going to give us a notification saying the flow has ran. So back in our Power Automate, as you can see, it ran twice because I clicked on it twice. So as you can see, it sent our collection in as JSON, and we got the email. So let me actually copy this output from the collection compose statement. So Control A, Control C will copy it all, because I want to parse this data using another action in Power Automate. So we know the data came over successfully, so we want to parse JSON now, because the data is in JSON format. So for the content, we want to choose the collection outputs. And since we copied the outputs from it, we want to generate that from samples. So we're going to go ahead and paste that data. As you can see, it did all that by itself. And now we want to, for my use case, I wanted to toss this into an HTML table. So we'll go into HTML, create HTML table. So from that JSON, from that parse JSON, you can actually see it allows us to select each of the columns. So you see we have date, purchase, title, price of item, quantity of items. You go into the PowerApps and you look at the collection. That's exactly the column headers that we have. So you can actually choose them here. But I actually want to get down from the body. And for the advanced options, it'll automatically create those column names. But if I wanted to do a custom column name, so let's say I wanted to do instead of title, so since the title was food, I don't want it to say title, I want it to say food. So food, and then I would just do the value to be the title, and then I would just map the rest of these out. So date purchased, price of item, and then last we have quantity. I always spell quantity wrong. Hold on. Quantity of items. All right, we have our 4 headers and 4 data values, and this will create an HTML table. It's going to create a very basic HTML table. It's not going to look fancy unless you add actual HTML and CSS to it. And I want to send this to my email, so we will do send an email v2. And for the 2, we want to do dynamic content, and I want to grab the outputs from my email action up above. The subject's just going to say PowerApps generated HTML table. And then for the body of the email, I'm just going to do the output from the create HTML table just to keep it simple. You can go more in depth if you want more information, but for this video, I'm just going to make it very, very easy for y'all. As you can see, we have the 5 actions. The flow is ready to go. So we will run it and see what happens. Let me open up my Outlook. So when I click on, we'll just create the collection again in case there was more data that was entered in here. And now we will send an email. The flow has ran. Let's go and see if there's any errors. Waiting. Oh, we got an error. So let's check it out. So cannot find any valid connection reference name shared Office 365. So this is actually a good example because here is what happened. This is why the flow didn't run. So it is using when I imported this flow to PowerApps, it didn't have the Office 365 connection, the shared Office 365. That's because I added the Outlook connection here, which is right here. I added that after. And since I added that after, the PowerApps doesn't know what connection to use to send the email. So to clear this issue out, I actually have to re-import this this flow into PowerApps. So let me copy this before I delete it. So we want to remove it from the app, and then we actually want to re-import it. So we'll just click on refresh, PowerApps collection to Power Automate. All right, it is back in our flow. As you can see, I didn't even need to delete this. It re-picked it up. So let's see if it runs successfully this time. So we'll click on send an email. Flow is ran. Let's go to the outputs. And as you can see, it ran, and that's how you clear any issues that you have. Because you can also get like a SharePoint connection if you had like a SharePoint item, like create item or update item after you already ran the flow. Let's go ahead and check on the outputs. Collection, the array of items, email, my email, parse JSON. So as you can see, it looked at the schema matched the content, and so it was able to parse the data into this body of outputs. Then for the create HTML table, as you can see, this is the outputs of the HTML table. It looks nice, and it looks like the email sent successfully. So let's go take a look at my Outlook. As you can see, PowerApps generate HTML table. And here's our HTML table of the collection that we took from PowerApps. And that'll be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a lot longer than I intended it to be, but there's a lot of good examples and a lot of things I explain that you can run into. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you feel like it. And any video ideas, feel free to comment them because we all run into issues using these Microsoft platforms, and sometimes it's easier to just reach out and ask questions. That'll be the video, and I will catch you in the next one.